Windows 10 end of support. Here's what you need to know. October 14, 2025 is the day Microsoft intends to cut all support off for Windows 10 as an operating system, meaning the OS will have had 10 years of both mainstream and extended support. However, lots of people are using Windows 10. As of right now, over 60% of the world is still on Windows 10. It remains very dominant thanks to Windows 11 having restrictive hardware requirements, and the concerns over privacy seem to be getting worse with Windows, so it's pushing some people away to other systems such as macOS or Linux. However, these non-Microsoft operating systems have their pros and cons, and Linux is not for everyone. macOS is a very expensive option most will simply not be prepared to pay for, so your only real solution is to upgrade to the latest version of Windows, which at the current time of this video being produced, is Windows 11. But we are expecting a Windows 12 to release sometime soon, hopefully next year, and many anticipate it could be a great release compared to Windows 11. After Windows 10 reaches its end of life, there will be no more technical support offered to you by Microsoft for that version of Windows, no more warranties, cessation of security and bug fixes, as well as no more selling of license keys officially by Microsoft. However, many are refusing to upgrade to Windows 11, and Windows 12 is yet to be announced and confirmed by Microsoft themselves, so the path for most users is to stick with Windows 10 until it goes end of life. However, most of you may happen to buy a new PC in the next 2 or so years. But there are also lots of people who cannot afford to upgrade due to financial instability, income, or lack hereof. Therefore, it will be of great difficulty for Microsoft to get their users on the latest version of Windows. Windows 10 is not likely to see any form of extended security support past the deadline. Microsoft will instead push their users towards the latest and greatest mess that will be Windows 12, the worst and most substandard garbage crap OS you will ever use. Just kidding, it could actually turn out to be a really good release. However, many are getting fed up with Microsoft's disgraceful and disrespectful acts towards their users, so some people are switching to macOS, Linux, or an entirely different OS altogether, like iOS or Android, which are mobile operating systems, so some people could trade off their PCs for phones or tablets, although this usually does not happen. So, what is the best path for you? If you are still using Windows 10, do not panic right now, you still have plenty of time to upgrade, or save up for a new system. You could even build your own PC and choose whatever OS your heart desires, but just beware that the clock is ticking fast, and Windows 10 will eventually stop being supported by Microsoft, just like with every other version of Windows in years past, and all systems have a finite lifespan. If you do decide to stay with Windows 10 past the deadline, be sure you back up all of your data, in case you ever become victim to ransomware. Install a reliable and reputable antivirus solution for Windows. You could consider paying if you need more advanced features, but for most of you home users, this is not necessary, and, just have some goddamn common sense. Never visit unknown or non-reputable sources, never open suspicious emails or attachments, and always keep your software up to date. The last part is going to be hard because developers soon stop supporting an antiquated operating system that is considered obsolete and no longer secure to use, with major companies like Google being one of the first to drop support for applications, such as their popular web browser Google Chrome. Microsoft will also cease support of Office and other apps on Windows 10. You will no longer be able to have the latest and greatest version of some apps. However, a good chunk will support Windows 10 for at least an extra couple of years past its end of life. We have already seen this with Windows 8.1, 7, and even Vista and XP still get some program support despite being antiquated and unsupported for so long. And if you really want to go down an experimental or different path, then you could always consider trying a Linux distro, whether it's Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Linux Lite, etc. There are many easy-to-use beginner-friendly distros that aim to help you migrate from Windows or Mac OS to Linux, but whether or not you can switch will heavily depend on your needs, wants, and preferences. And Linux is not for everyone. Not everyone is prepared for change, so most, especially gamers, will stick with Windows. Some could consider switching to Mac OS, or even Google's Chrome OS Flex, as these provide reputable and convenient alternatives. However, Apple is very expensive, and Chrome OS Flex is very limited in functionality despite being able to run both Android and Linux apps natively. So what option best suits you will be of personal preference, and your preference will vary to another person's. So there is no single best approach for me to recommend to those of you stuck on Windows 10. Perhaps the best I could say is save up for a new PC capable of running Windows 11, or switch to Linux, if that's of your interest. But other than that, that's now it for this video folks. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next video. Bye for now.